All right, today we're going to jump into a kind of modern fable to dig into a really powerful message, one that completely rethinks what it means to be a hero. So let's get right into the story of Hercules, a serpent sorcerer, and the guardians of a place called Aristos. So the whole story really kicks off with this one simple but honestly profound idea, which is the very heartbeat of this peaceful valley, Aristos. For the folks living here, these aren't just some nice words. This is their foundation. It's a constant reminder that the strongest defenses aren't built from stone, but from the connections between people. So, let's just step into Aristos for a second. Try to picture a place where the air is so clean you can almost taste the flowers on the breeze. Here, it's not just that the birds sing, it's like they're actually in a conversation with the people. The river doesn't just flow, it seems to whisper secrets if you listen closely enough. This is a world built on a really deep friendship with the natural world. And looking after this incredible valley are 3 guardians, and each one is a pillar of the community. First, you've got Lyra, a musician whose flute can somehow speak to the birds. Then there's Thales, the wise old man, the kind of guy who can read the future in the stars and tell stories from ages ago. And then there's Doron, the blacksmith. He's incredibly strong, but he forges tools to help and protect, never to harm. But, peace like this, it never seems to last, does it? All of a sudden, a shadow just falls over Aristos. The harmony is shattered. A strange, heavy silence just blankets the valley. The birds stop singing. The river, which was once so full of life, now just looks dull. It's this cold sense of dread that starts to creep into everyone's hearts. And it's Thales, the wise one, who finally puts a name to this feeling. He strikes his staff on the ground, and in a voice that's barely a whisper, he says, "The Serpent Sorcerer has awakened." And with just those few words, a terrifying name from a legend they thought was long forgotten, the main conflict of our story is set in motion. Okay, so who or what is the Serpent Sorcerer? Well, he's not your typical bad guy, not by a long shot. He's way more complicated. Think of him as a physical manifestation of our own inner demons. His lower body is made of 6 serpents, and each one embodies a powerful, painful emotion: fear, anger, jealousy. And they all spring from this one tragic source: the pain of being completely forgotten. So, faced with this thing, the guardians know they can't do it alone. They send out a call for help, but they're not asking for a warrior. They're asking for a hero. And that call is answered by a name straight out of legend: Hercules. Now, when you hear the name Hercules, what do you picture? Probably this huge, raging warrior, right? Well, the guy who shows up, he's different. Sure, he looks the part. He's got the lion skin, the massive wooden club, but it's not his raw strength that catches your eye. It's the quiet calm in his gaze, the kindness in his smile. He doesn't bring a storm with him. He brings a sense of peace. And at his side is his little companion, Pylus, a mountain fox who's as clever as he is loyal. And get this, the very first thing he does isn't to drop a battle plan. Nope. He just looks at all the scared faces around him and shares this simple truth. He says, "Fear grows when we keep it alone. When we share it, it becomes small." And right there, he completely reframes the entire conflict. This isn't about slaying a monster, it's about healing a community. And this slide, right here, this is the heart of the whole story. It's about these 2 completely different ideas of what strength even is. On one hand, you have the classic mythic idea of strength: brute force, aggression, just pure destruction. But on the other hand, this story gives us a new kind of power, a Herculean strength that's built on calmness, on empathy, and on this fierce instinct to protect. It's a whole new definition of what it means to be a hero. All right, so the stage is set. We've got our hero of empathy, and we've got our creature of fear. They're about to face off. But this is going to be a battle like no other. Forget swords and shields. This is a war that's going to be fought in the heart. The Serpent Sorcerer, and you can just hear the venom in his voice. He asks the one question he's expecting: have you come to destroy me? He's ready for a fight. He's built his whole existence assuming the world will meet him with violence. But Hercules, he doesn't even flinch. He doesn't raise his club. He just simply shakes his head and says, "I have come to protect my people." And with just those few words, he completely shatters the sorcerer's entire worldview. He's not here to destroy a monster. He's here to protect a community from the fear that monster creates. So the sorcerer, when he realizes he's not going to get a fist fight, he switches tactics. He uses something way, way worse. A thick, sticky mist rolls out, and with it come these whispers that target everyone's deepest insecurities. To Lyra, it whispers, "You are not enough." To Doran, "Your strength is useless." It's not an attack on their bodies, it's an attack on their souls. But Hercules sees right through it. He knows this isn't some magic spell, it's just pain. And he raises his voice not with a war cry, but with a cry of pure clarity. This mist is not truth, it is only the pain of being forgotten. By just speaking the truth out loud, he rips all the power away from the lie. And that's it. That's the moment everything changes. The tide of the battle turns, not because of a weapon, but because of a wave of empathy. And what happens next is as beautiful as it is totally unexpected. What happens next is it's amazing. It's like this beautiful domino effect of compassion. Hercules' words of truth start to clear the mist. Then Lyra, her confidence back, starts playing her flute, a song of healing and understanding. Then Doran lists his shield, not to fight, but to protect his friends from the last dying whispers of fear. And as that music fills the air, the serpents, which fed on fear, just start to fade away, revealing the man they were hiding. And right there, in the middle of it all, is no longer a monster. It's just a man. A man on his knees, not from a physical blow, but from the crushing weight of being alone for centuries. And in this choked-up whisper, he finally says it, the source of all his pain. No one remembered me. It's just a heartbreakingly human moment. And just like that, peace comes back to Aristos. But it's different now, you know? It's deeper. It's a peace that was forged in understanding, not just victory. And the perfect symbol of this is what Devorn does next. He forges a new shield, and on it, where the image of a serpent once was, he places an olive branch, a promise of a much better future. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway here? What is the real lesson from Aristos, the one we're meant to carry with us? What is the true heart of a hero? It really all boils down to this one simple idea. A true hero isn't the one who can hit the hardest. A true hero is the one who has the strength to choose not to harm. It's a radical idea of heroism, one that puts compassion and understanding above everything else. And that's the question I want to leave you with. In this story, we saw how empathy could literally turn a monster back into a man. So just take a second to think about it. In your own life, in the challenges you face, big and small, where can empathy be your greatest strength?